Okay, welcome to another session in this series. In the previous session, we ended on question number 121. Here we start with question number 122. The question says two angles of a pentagon and are in the ratio 2:3. The orders are 60 each. Okay. Now calculate the smaller of the two angles. So what they mean is the smaller of these two angles. And of course, you know that the smaller of these two angles will be the one that has what? A smaller proportion, which is 2. Okay, so now if the ratio is 2:3, right, what that means is this guy here, these two here, if our portion is x, it will take 2 portions, right? And if our portion is x, this guy will take 3 portions, right? So we have x, so this guy will take 3 portions. That's what this proportion means right here. So once you find this x value, you can find the original portion of this 3 ratio, and then when you find x, you can also find the original portion of these 2, because this is just a ratio, right? Cool. So now what that means is we can add this, and then the 360s to get out our interior angle of the sum of interior angles of a pentagon, right? Cool. So let's do this. We have 2x plus 3x plus 60 plus 60 plus 60 should give us what? 180 n minus 2. But we know that our n here is equal to what? 5, because we are dealing with what? A pentagon. Okay, this is the sum of a polygon. Okay, cool. The sum of interior angles of a polygon, and these are our 2 ratios. Okay, cool. So, and then this 60 is what we've been given us. The others are 60 each. We've been given 2 angles, and then the rest are 60. So the rest of the 3 angles will be what? 60. Since we are dealing with a polygon, we have only 5 angles. Okay, so 3 of them are 60, and then 2 of them are, the ratio will be given 2:3. Okay, cool. Now let's try. We know that our n is what? 5, so we can calculate this here. We can calculate this here. We have what? 180, 5 minus 2, which is what? 180 times 3. Okay, so we have 5x plus 180 is equal to 540, which is the same as 180 times 3, right? 180 times 3 is 540. Okay, cool. So we say 5x is equal to 540 minus 180, which is what? 360. So our x will be given us 360. We divide both sides by 5, and then 5 can cancel out. Then we would have what? X to be equal to what? 72. Okay, now that we know x, now that we know the value of our x here, the smallest angle will take 2 portions of the x. So 2 times x will give us what? 2 times x give us, 2 times 72, which is what? 144. So that is our answer, 144. Cool. Let's move on to question number 123. The question here wants us to find the angle x or z, which is this angle right here. But we've been told that this line bisects this angle over here. That means this angle and this angle will be the same. Okay, so let's call that angle x, and this angle also x. Okay, and then we've also been told that this line bisects this whole angle. So if this angle is z, then they will both be what? Z. Okay, so let's label that angle as well. So we have this angle, we have z and z. Okay, cool. Now when we add this angle here, and then this angle here, we should get what? 180, because what? The sum of a triangle, angles in a triangle, add up to 180. So let's do that. That means x plus z plus z plus 68 should give us 180. Okay, so we have 2x, 2z, and 68. We have 2x plus 2z plus 68 should give us 180. Okay, so we have 2x plus 2z should give us 112. Okay, because we subtract this comes here and then we subtract it, that will give us 112. So now we can also factor 2 out, right? When you factor 2 out from here, we have x plus z to be equal to what? We just divide by 2, 112 over 2. Okay, so these two cancel this 2, so we have x plus z to give us what? 60, no, 56. Okay, all right, now let's deal with this small triangle right here. We know that this x plus z plus this angle over here is what? 180, because it's a triangle. Okay, so we say x plus z plus, let's call that angle theta. If this angle here is theta, let's call it theta. Okay, theta. Okay, then that should equal to 180. But we know that x plus z is 56, right? From here we know that x plus z is 56. Okay, so we can just say 56 plus theta should give us what? 180. Okay, cool. Now we can find our theta to be 180 minus 56, and that will give us what? 124. Okay, so our answer is 124, which is D. Cool. All right, let's move on to question 124. The question says a regular polygon has an interior angle of 108. Find the number of its sides. So they say a regular polygon, right? So the formula is what? 180 and minus 2 all over 2. This is a formula for finding the angle of a regular polygon. Okay, now we've been given that this regular polygon has an interior angle of what? 108. So we need to equate this to 108. Okay, cool. Now we just need to solve for n. No, this is not 2, this is n. Okay, so let's cancel that 2. We know that it is n, not 2. N, sorry, n. So we just need to solve the equation for n, right? So we know that this is the same as 108 over 1. So we just cross multiply. So we have 180 n minus 360. We expanded this, okay, to get this. Okay, it's equal to what? 108 n. Cool. All right, so we just need to rearrange the equation and then we solve for n. So we have 108n minus 180n minus 108n should give us 360. So we have 72 to be equal to 72n to be equal to 360. We can divide both sides by 72 to get our n. So n will give us what? 5. Cool. So our answer is what? C. All right, let's move on to question 125. The question wants us to find the value of x. So this is what you are trying to find. Okay, in order to get this angle, we need to know these two angles and then these two angles, because their sum gives us what? 180. This angle, and this angle gives us what? 180. But we know this angle right here is 54. And then seeing these two lines are straight and they are crossing each other, then we can have what? Vertically opposite angles. Okay, that means this angle here is the same as this angle right here, which is 54. So now when we add these three angles, we should get what? 180, because the sum of the interior angles of a triangle gives us 180. So 54 plus 40 plus x should give us 180. So x will give us 180 minus 54 minus 40. So x should give us 86. Okay, cool. So our answer is what? 86, which is C. All right, cool. I think we'll have to stop here for now. In the next session, we move on to question 126. Okay. Thank you so much for joining this session. See you again next time. Bye.